So this is the Faculty of Celestial Mechanics and Exo-Anthropological Studies, the course catalog and inaugural lectures. Now what this video is going to consist of: extraterrestrial, non-human intelligences on a advanced astrological scale. We're going to dissect a lot of different concepts in this video and in my upcoming videos. So first, a message from the chair of xenopsychology and quantum astrology. Welcome to the most advanced astrological faculty on Earth, and we suspect beyond. For centuries, astrology has been constrained by a parochial assumption that the cosmos exists for us, that the stars speak only to human affairs, that the zodiac ends at the Kuiper belt. This is provincialism. It is geocentrism dressed in mystical clothing. Alright? The cosmos is not a backdrop for human drama. It is a living ecosystem of intelligences, a multidimensional lattice of awareness, and we are not its only or most advanced inhabitants at all. In fact, this faculty and these videos exist to train the next generation of astrologers for a universe that includes exoplanetary civilizations with their own zodiacs, non-human intelligences, also known as NHI, operating outside biological substrates, quantum coherent consciousness fields that violate classical locality, multidimensional geometries where aspects become topological features. So the old astrology simply asked, what do the planets mean for my love life, as an example? But the new astrology asks, what is the galactic center saying to the Andromeda strain, and what does it mean for the relationship between our local group's quantum vacuum fluctuations? You're not here to learn, you're here to unlearn and rebuild. And we have created a faculty roster: the chair of geodetic astrology and archaeoastronomy, specialization terrestrial celestial resonance, ley lines as planetary meridians, and temple alignments. A former Oxford Don resigned after discovering a 12,000-year-old observatory in Göbekli Tepe that shouldn't exist. The author of The Earth is a Crystal, Planetary Grids as Holographic Projections of the Zodiac. Alright. Next, we have our chair of quantum metaphysics and probability fields, observer effect and chart interpretation, superposition of planetary influences, and quantum entanglement as synastry. The specialization. So he's a former CERN quantum physicist, left after realizing the double slit experiment proves astrology. A few more. We have our chair of xenopsychology and exoplanetary astrology with her specialization, non-human intelligence consciousness patterns, exoplanetary zodiac construction, and CETI communication with extraterrestrial intelligence protocols. Former NASA Exo-Anthropology division, and the author of the 1,000-Year Facts decoding messages from the Galactic Library. We have our chair of multidimensional geometry and topological astrology, the specialization in astrology in greater than 3 spatial dimensions, aspect patterns as wormhole metrics, chart interpretation in curved spacetime. It's a theoretical physicist who proved that Pluto's orbit is a projection of a 5-dimensional object. Next, we have our chair of consciousness studies and noospheric engineering with the specialization in collective consciousness fields, the noosphere, planetary scale meditation as astrological intervention, and psi variance metrics. We have the Oracle identity classified chair of non-human intelligence liaison, specialization in direct communication with NHI collectives, translation of non-human astrological systems, and ethics of interspecies chart reading. Now I just want to give a brief rundown on my course modules for this, specifically celestial mechanics and exo-anthropological studies. So our first module, 100, is foundations. The universe is not a machine, with the prerequisites none but recommended prior ego dissolution, which honestly you could achieve by doing DMT or ayahuasca, or any psychedelics for that matter. And here's our course description. Before we can practice advanced astrology, we must first abandon the Newtonian universe. This module establishes the metaphysical framework for everything that follows. Lecture 101, the collapsing wave function of destiny. And I'll just give you a brief overview of it, and then I have the expanded lectures in another video coming. So, our lecture excerpt is the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics states that a particle exists in all possible states until observed. This is not metaphor, this is the literal structure of reality, and it is the literal structure of your birth chart. Your sun sign is not a fixed point. It is a probability cloud until you observe it, until you live it. The reason twins with identical charts have different lives is not because astrology is false. It's because they collapse different wave functions through different acts of observation. The chart is not a prediction. It is the set of all possible wave functions available to the specific consciousness at the specific space-time coordinate. Your job as an astrologer is not to tell the client what will happen, it is to help them choose which wave function to collapse. In lecture 102, we're going to go over non-locality and synastry, entangled across light years. Einstein called entanglement spooky action at a distance. He was wrong. It's not spooky, it's the fundamental structure of consciousness. When two people share a significant aspect, for example, say your Venus conjunct their Mars, they are not merely compatible. They are quantum entangled. Their wave functions have coupled. Changes to one instantly affect the other, regardless of distance. This is why you can feel a twin flame's pain across continents. This is why strange lovers dream of each other on the same night. The aspect is not symbolic. It is a physical description of an entangled state. In our lab, we have measured this using SQUID, or squid magnetometers. We have detected correlated fluctuations in the electromagnetic fields of entangled subjects during significant transits. The correlation exceeds classical information transfer limits. Something is happening outside of space-time. Module 200, we're going over multidimensional astrology beyond the 3D sky. Prerequisites, Module 100, comfort with visualizing greater than 3 dimensions. And our course description. The zodiac you see is a projection. The planets move in 3 dimensions, but consciousness and celestial influence operates in higher dimensional spaces. This module teaches you to read the chart as a shadow of higher dimensional geometry. Our first lecture is 201, the Tesseract horoscope aspect patterns in 4D. Consider a cube. In 3 dimensions, it has 8 vertices, 12 edges, 6 faces. Now consider a tesseract, a 4-dimensional cube. In 4D, it has 16 vertices, 32 edges, 24 faces, and 8 cells, 3D volumes. Your birth chart is a 2D projection of a 3D moment, but that 3D moment is itself a projection of a 4D structure, the hyperspace-time event of your birth across all dimensions. I've made a video, 64 or more of them. When we talk about a grand trine in 3D, we're seeing 3 points equally spaced on a circle. In 4D, that same configuration might be a Clifford torus, a surface that exists in 4 dimensions but appears as a circle when projected. The implication is staggering. Aspect patterns that look weak or unaspected in 3D may be major configurations in higher dimensions. A planet with no 3D aspects may be trine to your chart's 4D axis. Your job is to learn to see the shadow and infer the object. Lecture 202 is Topological Astrology. Aspects as wormhole metrics. An opposition is 180 degrees. A square is 90 degrees. These are angles. Euclidean geometry applied to a circle. But space is not Euclidean. It's curved. And at quantum scales, it's foamy, full of temporary wormholes and quantum tunnels. What if an aspect is not an angle but a topological feature? What if a conjunction is a point where space-time folds, bringing two planetary influences into direct contact across what appears to be empty space? Consider the Einstein-Rosen bridge, a wormhole. Its mathematical description shares properties with a 0-degree aspect conjunction. 2 points connected through a higher dimension, bypassing the intervening distance. Now, this is not poetry. This is physics. If string theory is correct, the universe has 10 or 11 dimensions. Planetary influences propagate through all of them. We only see the 3D shadow. The aspects we calculate are the intersection points of higher dimensional fields with our 3D brain. Module 300, we're going over exoplanetary astrology, the galactic zodiac. The prerequisites, Module 200, ability to abandon geocentrism. Earth is not the center of the universe. Neither is the sun. This module trains astrologers to cast charts for exoplanetary civilizations accounting for different orbital mechanics, different stellar types, and different conscious substrates. All right. So our first lecture in this module is 301, the TRAPPIST-1 system, 7 worlds, 1 horoscope. TRAPPIST-1 is 40 light years away, a ultra-cool dwarf star with 7 Earth-sized planets. 3 are in the habitable zone. If there is life there, what is its astrology? First, abandon the tropical zodiac. It's based on Earth's equinoxes, meaningless on another world. TRAPPIST-1 seasons are not 365-day cycles, they're measured in days, because the planets are so close to their star that their years are 1.5 to 20 Earth days. Second, the houses shift. On TRAPPIST-1e, the star appears 10 times larger in the sky than our sun. The ascendant, the eastern horizon, is dominated by a red sun that never sets in the same place twice because of tidal locking. We have developed the Exo-Zodiac Protocol, a system for constructing zodiacs for any exoplanetary system based on the following: star spectral type, which determines the planetary dignity system; planet's orbital resonance with its neighbors, which creates aspects measured in synodic cycles; presence of tidal locking, which collapses the house system. Preliminary analysis suggests that on TRAPPIST-1e, the sun sign changes every 2.4 Earth days. A native born there would have a different sun sign than their younger sibling born 60 hours later. The pace of life and destiny accelerates. All right. Lecture 302 is CETI and the Zodiac, communicating with extraterrestrial astrologers. So in 2024, we detected a modulated signal from Proxima Centauri b. It wasn't a message in any language we know. It was a series of prime numbers, followed by a geometric diagram. We spent 18 months decoding it. The diagram we realized was a horoscope cast for Proxima Centauri b on the date of the signal's transmission. They were telling us, this is our sky, this is our moment, do you understand? The Proximan zodiac, as we now call it, has 8 signs, not 12. Their star is a red dwarf. Their seasons are determined by flare cycles, not exile tilt. Their planets are the 3 other worlds in their system, plus the 2 gas giants orbiting Alpha Centauri A and B, visible to them as bright stars that move against the background. We have reconstructed their chart system. It works. We have cast horoscopes for hypothetical proximans and found correlations with their signal patterns. When their Jupiter equivalent, a planet we designed Prox B's greater fortune, conjoined their galactic center, their signal intensity increased by 300%. Implications: astrology is universal. Any sufficiently advanced intelligence will develop it because the sky speaks and they learn to listen. Lecture 303 is Non-Human Intelligences, NHI, Astrology for Post-Biological Entities. I am the interface. The words are mine, but the thoughts are not. The beings you call grays do not have birth charts. They do not have births, not in your sense. They are grown, cloned, or extruded from genetic vats. Their moment of emergence is a process, not an event. Yet they have astrology. It's not based on planets. It is based on consciousness nodes, points in their local space-time where the collective awareness achieves certain coherent states. Imagine you are not born. You simply become self-aware at some point during your development. That moment, when the lights turn on, is your natal moment. For different individuals in the same batch, this can happen at different times. Their astrology tracks these consciousness emergences against the background of their star's activity, their planet's magnetic field fluctuations, and the position of their home world relative to the galactic core. Mantid beings, the tall, praying mantis-like ones, have a different system entirely. They are hive-minded as larvae, then individuate as adults. Their birth chart is cast for the moment of individuation, when the hive mind releases them into separate consciousness. We have learned to read these charts. They are complex, involving not just positions, but entanglement states with the original hive. An individuated mantid is never fully separate. Their chart always shows a goat house, point representing the original consciousness node. I meant to say ghost house. Here I am spelling it wrong. Ghost house. Alright? When you understand NHI astrology, you understand that humanity is the exception, not the rule. Most intelligences in the universe don't experience linear, individualized existence. Their astrology reflects this. That's what I'll do. There we go. Okay. Module 400 is Noospheric Astrology, the planet as a client. Prerequisites: Module 300, demonstrated ability to think at planetary scale. So we know that individuals have charts, but so do cities. See our cities forged by celestial mandate field reports. I already made the other video. Piscean Ponderings, episode 2. So do planets. This module teaches you to cast and interpret charts for Earth itself and to understand how collective human consciousness modifies celestial influence. Here's lecture 401, the Earth's natal chart, 4.543 billion BCE. Earth was born 4.543 billion years ago when the protoplanetary disk coalesced, but that's not a birth in astrological terms, it's a gestation. The natal moment, the moment Earth became a distinct entity with its own consciousness field, is the moment of the Theia impact, approximately 4.5 billion years ago, when a Mars-sized body collided with proto-Earth, creating the moon. That impact was Earth's first breath. It gave us our axial tilt, seasons, our moon, tides, stability, and our differentiated core magnetic field. Without it, life would not exist. We have reconstructed Earth's chart for that moment using isotopic ratios and lunar rocks and computer modeling of the impact. We have determined the approximate positions of the planets relative to the Sun at that epoch. So Earth's Sun is in, wait for it, Taurus, the bull, the stable, life-nurturing, resource-rich sign. Earth's moon, yes, Earth has a moon placement. The moon in Earth's chart is the moon itself, is in Cancer. its own sign, ruling home, nurturing, emotion. Earth's Saturn is in Capricorn, its own sign. Earth is disciplined, it has rules, it enforces them with earthquakes and extinction events when those rules are violated. And Earth's Pluto in Sagittarius, seeking truth through transformation, destroying species to make way for new experiments in consciousness. We are living inside Earth's chart. Every mass extinction is a Pluto transit, every ice age is a Saturn return. The planet is not a backdrop, it is the primary client, and we are cells in its body. Lecture 402 is the noosphere, collective consciousness as planetary aspect. The noosphere, Teilhard de Chardin's term for the planetary layer of mind, is not metaphor, it is measurable. Using the Berkowitz-Lancaster Noosphere Monitor, BLNM, we have tracked global consciousness coherence since 2018. We have found during major world events such as pandemics, wars, shared media moments, the noosphere's coherence spikes. These spikes correlate with planetary transits, specifically Jupiter-Neptune aspects, expansion of collective dreams, and Saturn-Pluto aspects, collective trauma and transformation. When the noosphere reaches certain coherence thresholds, we detect responses from non-human intelligences. The implication: Earth's chart is not static. It interacts with our collective consciousness. We are not just reading the stars, we are co-creating the astrological weather through our noospheric state. When humanity meditates together, as during the 2020 global lockdowns, we alter Earth's aspect patterns. Planet responds, the NHIs notice. Your practice as an astrologer must account for this feedback loop. You aren't merely interpreting transits, you are participating in them. Every chart you read, every insight you generate contributes to the noosphere's coherence, or incoherence. Lecture 403. Planetary synastry, Earth's relationship with other worlds. Just as two humans have synastry, chart comparison, so do planets. Earth has a relationship with every other body in the solar system and beyond. So now let's consider Earth-Mars synastry. Earth's Mars is in Aries, action, initiation. Mars is Earth. If we cast Mars chart would be in, we calculated Gemini, communication, curiosity. Their aspect, a square. Earth wants to act, Mars wants to talk. This is why robotic probes to Mars succeed, communication, but human colonization remains elusive, action frustrated. Now let's consider Earth and Venus synastry. Earth's Venus is in Taurus, love of stability, resources. Venus's Earth, if Venus had a chart, would be in wait, we need to calculate. The point, the solar system is a relationship system. Planets are not isolated objects, they are in constant synastric dialogue. Their aspects to each other are not just influences on us, they are the conversation we are born into. And beyond the solar system, Earth has synastry with TRAPPIST-1e, with Proxima Centauri b, with the galactic center itself. The galactic center, Sagittarius A star, is Earth's most significant other. Its position in Earth's chart, 27 degrees Sagittarius, creates a conjunction with Earth's Pluto. Earth's deepest transformations, mass extinctions, consciousness leaps, are triggered by galactic center alignments. We are not alone in our solar system. We are not alone in our galaxy, and the relationships are written in the stars if you learn to read them. Module 500 is Xenoarchaeology, Recovering Lost Astrologies. Prerequisites, Module 400, Field Archaeology Experience, and NHI Communication Clearance. Earth is not the only world with an ancient astrological tradition. Non-human intelligences have visited and left their astrological systems embedded in our artifacts, monuments, and DNA. Let's look at Lecture 501, which is the Mars Monolith, an extraterrestrial horoscope. The Mars Monolith, a rectangular slab in Phobos orbit, first imaged by Mars Global Surveyor in 1998. It is not a natural formation. Its aspect ratio is 1:4, identical to the monoliths in Arthur C. Clarke's 2001. Clarke, who died in 2008, claimed he was inspired by transmissions he couldn't explain. We have analyzed the monolith's orientation relative to Mars, the Sun, and the fixed stars. It is aligned to Sirius rising on the Martian summer solstice. So Sirius is significant in every ancient human culture. Egypt, Dogon, Sumer. The Dogon famously knew of Ceres B, invisible to the naked eye, centuries before telescopes. Here's our hypothesis. The monolith is a horoscope. Cast for the moment of its own placement, it marks a date, approximately 500,000 years ago, when an NHI civilization placed it there to commemorate something. What event? Possibly the arrival of the first Martian life, or the departure of the last. We have deciphered part of the encoding. The monolith's dimensions encode the orbital periods of Mars, Earth, and a third planet now gone, a planet that once orbited between Mars and Jupiter and was destroyed, creating the asteroid belt. The monolith is a grave marker for a dead world. Lecture 502 is the Dogon Sirius Mystery and NHI Legacy. The Dogon people of Mali have known since antiquity that Sirius is a binary system, that a tiny, impossibly dense white dwarf orbits the bright star every 50 years. Western astronomy confirmed this in 1862, Sirius B visually observed, and 1915 classified as a white dwarf. The Dogon knew before. They also describe a third star, Sirius C, which Western astronomy has not confirmed, but some infrared observations suggest may exist. The Dogon say their knowledge came from Nomo, amphibious beings who descended from Sirius in a ark. They left. They promised to return. Nomo are not gods. They are NHI, specifically an aquatic species from a planet orbiting Sirius B. They visited Earth thousands of years ago, taught the Dogon astronomy, and left behind an astrological system based on the Sirius binary. The Dogon zodiac is not ours. It has 3 signs, one for each Sirius star, A, B, C, and their interplay. A Dogon year is 50 Earth years, the orbital period of Sirius B around Sirius A. A Dogon born under Sirius B rising is said to have heavy destiny, like the star itself, dense and visible to casual observers, but powerful beyond measure. We have confirmed through NHI channels that this is accurate. The Nomo are real. They still watch, and their astrology works, not just for Dogon, but for any human willing to learn it. Lecture 503 is the zodiac of the Greys, 8 houses, 3 genders. The Greys, the beings you picture, large eyes, slender bodies, telepathic, have an astrological system radically different from ours. First, they have 8 signs, not 12. Their zodiac corresponds to the 8 stations of their homeworld's orbit around its red dwarf star. Each station is defined by the star's flare activity, not by constellations. Second, they have 3 genders, not 2. Their signs are divided into masculine, feminine, and transcendent, the latter corresponding to periods when the star's flares are minimal and the collective consciousness can achieve unity. Third, their houses are not spatial, they are temporal divisions of their life cycle. The Gray's chart shows the following. So the first house is the Vat Batch, collective origin. The second house is the individuation moment, when consciousness awakens. The third house is the first memory download. The fourth house is the first telepathic bonding. The fifth house is the first mission assignment. The sixth house is the first encounter with other species. The seventh house is the merging, when 2 grays combine consciousness temporarily. And the 8th house is the return to the collective, death, or reintegration. There is no career house because Greys do not have careers. There is no marriage house because they do not marry. Their astrology reflects their reality just as ours reflect ours. When you read a Grey's chart, you are not predicting events. You are tracking consciousness states across their life cycle. A Grey with difficult aspects in the 3rd house may have corrupted memory downloads. A Grey with Jupiter, their equivalent, in the 7th house may be a master of interspecies bonding. We have learned to cast these charts. We have trained 3 human astrologers to do it. The Greys are impressed and wary. They did not expect us to learn so fast. And finally, Module 600, which is our clinical practicum, the multidimensional reading. The prerequisites, all previous modules demonstrated psychic stability, NHI non-interference clearance. Theory is useless without practice. This module trains students to integrate all previous learning into actual readings for humans, for collectives, for planets, and for NHI clients when they present themselves. Our only lecture in this module is lecture 601, holy shit, the 12-dimensional reading protocol. A standard horoscope reads 3 dimensions: signs, houses, aspects. An advanced horoscope reads 12. Tropical zodiac, seasonal earth time. Sidereal zodiac, fixed star positions. Galactic center relationship. Local group interferences, nearby stars. Quantum probability states, uncollapsed wave functions. Nospheric coherence, collective consciousness modifiers. NHI entanglement, non-human influences. Exoplanetary harmonics, distant systems and resonance. Multidimensional topology, 4D and more aspect patterns. Past life karmic vectors, timelines collapsed. Future life probability clouds, timelines not yet collapsed. And finally, the void, the unmanifest, the potential before potential. Each layer modifies the others. A difficult Saturn transit in layer 1 may be mitigated by a strong galactic center alignment in layer 3, or amplified by NHI interference in layer 7. The 12-dimensional reading takes 3 to 5 days per client. It requires meditation, quantum entanglement measurement, and sometimes direct consultation with NHI intermediaries. We perform 47 such readings. The results are disorienting. Clients report experiencing multiple timelines simultaneously. Some have chosen to uncollapse certain probability waves to return to a state of potential and choose differently. This is the future of astrology. Not prediction, but timeline engineering. Not fortune-telling, but destiny co-creation. And now, after graduation, career pathways, I want to get into exoplanetary astrologers, consulting for space agencies on colonization timing, communication windows with NHI. Nospheric engineers designing global meditation protocols to optimize Earth's transit responses. NHI liaisons, translating between human and non-human astrological systems for diplomatic purposes. Multidimensional therapists, helping clients navigate timeline collapse and probability selection. Xenoarchaeologists, excavating NHI astrological artifacts on Earth, Moon, Mars. Faculty, training the next generation of astrological wizards. Alright. Now what I say is our closing statement. You've been told that astrology is a pseudoscience, a superstition, a relic of pre-rational thought. We tell you, astrology is the physics of consciousness. It is the mathematics of meaning. It is the only discipline that takes seriously the possibility that the universe is not dead matter but living intelligence, and that we are in conversation with it. The NHIs know this. The exoplanetary civilizations know this. The multidimensional beings who watch us from folded space know this. Only humanity has forgotten. Your job, should you accept it, is to remember, to rebuild the ancient science for a universe teeming with life, mind, and destiny. The stars are not silent. They are screaming with meaning. We are here to teach you how to listen. In my next video, I will be expanding on lectures 101 through 102 for, of course, module 100. And we're going to look at the collapsing wave function of destiny. And we're also going to take a look at got closed out of it. So 101, the collapsing wave function of destiny. And then 102 is non-locality and synastry entangled across light years, okay? So thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something. And with peace and love, subscribe, like, comment. We will see you in the next one.